So you know what they say. They say that there are only two things that are unavoidable in life, and that is death and taxes, right? That's what they say. So I figured, why not talk about both those things in one episode? And because we know that death and taxes, they're basically unavoidable, it becomes a matter of just preparing for them and doing the best to lessen the burden of them, because we can't avoid it, right? We just have to prepare for them the best that we can. So let's jump into taxes and what we could do to prepare for it and lessen our tax burden the best that we know how. So we know that once you start making over a certain amount, the government wants its piece of the pie, right? And the government, however, they want to incentivize all of us to do certain things that help the economy grow and flourish. So a couple things they want to incentivize is they want to incentivize people to save for retirement and for businesses to spend money. So if you own a business, you know that you can get deductions for buying new equipment and investing in things, and your taxable income decreases, right? But if, let's say, you're just a regular employee somewhere, you can invest in the 401k or IRA, and your taxes will decrease. That's a deduction for you come tax time. And that's because the government wants to incentivize these things, right? It's not about finding the loopholes, because there's not a lot of loopholes in the tax system, but it's about doing the things that the government wants you to do and incentivizes you to do. And often these things are good for you as well. Obviously, you don't want to do something just for the tax benefits as if the actual thing doesn't benefit you at all. But you have to keep in mind what the things that the government wants you to do and incentivizes you to do on a tax level, so that your tax burden can be decreased while, let's say, saving for your retirement or investing in your business. And while I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty tax code and all the nitty-gritty rules of what is allowed and what isn't, I just want to introduce you to the concept of learning the rules. Go and research, educate yourself on what you can do to lower your tax bill this year, next year, plan accordingly, and do your best to save some money, because the government wants you to pay less taxes as long as you do these certain things. All right, now for the next amazingly fun topic, and that's death, right? We know that we are all going to die at some point, whether that's tomorrow or 100 years, who knows? But it is unavoidable, and so we have to plan for those that we're going to leave behind, right? We have to plan now to make it easy on them, and that happens in a number of ways, right? Whether that's a will or estate planning or insurance, whatever that is. I'm not sure what's right for your situation. Just educate yourself, and often it's as easy as thinking about, like, hey, if something was to happen and I wasn't here tomorrow, what would happen to my family? What would happen to my house or whatever? The things I care about, what would happen? The people I care about, would they be okay? Would they know what my financial situation is? What to do? Because we don't want to be scared of death, right? That's not what we want to do. We don't want to be scared of death. That's why we do this. We want to enjoy life. So let's get this out of the way by taking care of it, by being prepared now, by letting your family, your loved ones know what the plan is. Let's say, hey, let's get this will together so that there is something in writing ready to go. Because I've talked to many estate lawyers, and basically, if something is not in writing, once you pass away, it means nothing to the law, to the state, right? They don't care. It has to be in writing for them to value it, to say, okay, that's what he actually wanted. Regardless of what you actually desire, once you pass away, you don't have a say in that matter, right? So you have to make sure you get these documents, these things put in place now, so that you are prepared for the future, and your family, your loved ones are prepared for anything. And like I said before, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of the tax code and estate planning. I just want to introduce you to these concepts so that if you haven't already, start looking for the win-win situations with the government and paying taxes where they incentivize things. So it doesn't make sense for me to do more of that to pay less in taxes. And with estate planning, have I thought about what's going to happen to the people I care about if I was to die? What about tomorrow? What about in 100 years? Think about it. It doesn't cost you anything to think about and start planning in your mind, okay, what do I need to do? What should I do? And then take actionable steps and make a plan so that you're on track to live an incredible life. I keep telling people that when I talk about these deep things, right, things that people don't talk about all the time, it's not to get people scared about death or taxes or anything else. It's to get people to take responsibility for their life and to plan for things that they are unavoidable. So why don't we plan for them? Take responsibility for them so that we can enjoy life and not have to worry about this unknown that we just don't want to look at, right? We just want to ignore it. Just face it head on and say, hey, this is going to happen. Let's plan accordingly and let's enjoy life along the way. That's how we live an incredible life now. And stop postponing happiness until later, right? Take responsibility now for our life so that we can enjoy life today. So again, I hope this is helpful for you. Put your questions, comments in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them if I can. So I will see you next week.